Hi, besties. You've found your community bestie to share thoughts and opinions, recap the shows we love.
Having too much fun.
Bravo should be fun. And have piping hot gossip sessions about the celebrities and Bravo lebs we love, hate, and love to hate. He went on a podcast claiming he had a threesome with two women from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
Immediately, I was like, I wonder if it's Brandy and Carlton.
I'm Caitlin Marshall, your pop culture and Bravo bestie. Allegedly allegations. And if you enjoy fun conversation between friends, listening to your bestie rant about shows we can't get enough of, plus enjoy a little bit of, well, ridiculousness.
Oh my God. I'm sorry. There's a spider that is coming down. Hold on.
It's like the Blair Witch Project.
Oh my God. Has anybody seen my ring?
Oh my God.
I don't want to ruin the party or anything.
Have you seen my ring? Oh my God. Can you look on the floor for my ring? God, John's gonna kill me.
Don't mess with me because I will come.
What? Oh.
Feel free to leave that in for whatever entertainment purposes.
You're in the right place. So thanks for joining me on Besties by Bravo. Hi, besties. Thank you for joining me today, Thursday, September 19th. Can I tell y'all something? An indication of how insane my life has been. If you're watching live on YouTube, I was running late because I was doing notes until the umpteenth hour, honey. I had it in my head. Don't ask me why, that the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City season 5 premiere was going to be October 18th. And I was like, why are they giving us all of these clips already? Well, honey, no, I realized yesterday. No, it's September 18th. Yeah. So we're here. I've been up very early taking these little notes here, and it was an explosive episode, my friends. We also had Lisa Barlow and Molly Sims on Watch What Happens Live last night. Excuse me while I take a little sip of water. It is dry here in Colorado, besties. Let me just tell you that without a doubt. And Lisa really still was hitting hard at Whitney Rose and her healing journey on Watch What Happens Live, but I do have to touch on how she was asked by a fan about Brett Ingman, Demi Ingman from Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, her husband, who, remember, friends, was married to Angie Harrington. I mean, all roads really do lead to Bravo, guys. It's just, it is what it is. It's like Rome. And Lisa said that she's known Brett for a long time, and he would come to her house with David Osmond and sing to her before she was dating John. And she said, no, we've always been very good friends. And I just found it fascinating. I just also put up a little TikTok video on the extensive musical family background that Brett has, Demi's husband, and it's pretty interesting. At least I found it interesting. Okay. Should we just jump into Salt Lake City? I was going to gossip today, but y'all, Salt Lake City, I have pages and pages of notes because it was that good. Okay, let's just start, shall we? Okay, no one's holding you back, Caitlin. Let's go. We really start the whole thing with Salt Lake City. They've gotten very big about the cinematic flashbacks and showing just the setting and going through everything, making it as dramatic as possible after how they really brought it last year, or last year, it was this year, last season, I should say. And I loved the beginning. I feel like I'm seeing a trend between Real Housewives of Orange County and now Salt Lake City. I'm assuming they're both evolution. I should have double checked before I started saying this, but how we're getting a lot of in the moment conversations about previous conversations that we haven't seen, and they'll give us a flashback. And I think it's interesting because I think it's their way of giving us things that weren't going to make a full scene final cut, but I think they've heard some of us fans being like, when did they say that? I don't even know what you're talking about because they get so much footage, right? But we get a lot of those. We get reintroduced to all of our cast members who have been with us from day one. And it was good. It was just a good opening. And some people might call it cheesy, but I love a little cheese. You know what I mean? Okay, so we do start with that flashback of Lisa telling Heather and Angie that she's upset with Whitney for saying that Lisa is the new villain when Whitney was on the Vile Files. Now, this part is fascinating to me. Mary and Angie K. Mary M. Cosby and Angie K. They're besties now. They even are going to be wearing matching purses to Lisa's Besos Valentine's Day party. So truly, Mary and Angie K are full blown actual besties with matching sunglasses, but they're in different colors. Different colors. So we get there at our Besos party, and apparently everyone's just kind of reintroducing themselves, reacquainting themselves with each other. And it's like interesting because basically Mary likes Heather now that she's lost 25 pounds and gotten new teeth and done the whole thing. Heather looked beautiful before and she looks beautiful now. So, as long as Heather feels good about Heather, that is all that matters, my friends. But we do meet Bronwyn, Lisa's friend. And can I just be real? And this is as someone who used to work for Saint Laurent YSL. That heart faux, I'm hoping it was faux fur, surely it was, fur-esque jacket. She was looking like a Sesame Street character coming into this party. It was interesting. It was interesting. I don't know if I was expecting her to maybe give us numbers, the ABCs, all of that, but it's now giving me flashbacks of Candace talking about old Deborah on Potomac. Sesame Street character, go do your ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. Now, Lisa and Bronwyn, this is hysterical to me, met at a Nordstrom many years ago where Bronwyn essentially swatted Lisa away like, oh my gosh, I don't care. When Lisa most likely went up to her and was like, oh my God, I love that. You should totally buy that. Can I touch? And Bronwyn was just like, okay, first of all, you're in sweats. Thank you so much. Get away from me. And Lisa had a really great sense of humor about it, but still, it's hysterical. It turns out, yes, Whitney is fully aware that Lisa is pretty mad at her. And this is when she's on the way to the Besos party with her friend. And she's saying that things have been going really well in her personal life, that her businesses are growing, but that the last time they were all together in New York, which again, y'all, can we just start collectively saying the last time we saw each other at the reunion? We know that's what it was. You're giving us a flashback of the reunion anyway. Just say the reunion. Anyway, she felt like there wasn't much resolve for them at the reunion, or excuse me, in New York. Then we get to meet our other newbie, Brittany, who is there as a friend of Heather. And Heather tells us in confessional that in Mormon culture, Brittany dating Jared Osmond, how many Osmonds are there? There have to be a lot, is the equivalent of dating Prince Harry in, I don't know, non-secular culture, we'll say. And essentially, Brittany and Jared have been dating for a while until literally the day of this party. Brittany's calling Heather and telling her that she and Jared broke up. And I'm a little confused because Brittany says in her confessional that they've broken up like 16 times. And she also says that they've been together for 8 months and that there's been back and forth of dating other people and back together. So have they been, please tell me this dating other people, coming back together, and 16 breakups happened in a much larger time span than 8 months? Please tell me, because I'm like very interested if it's not, but also concerned. You know what I mean? It's like a car accident. Gonna keep watching though. Mary and Bronwyn are sitting together, and we know Mary is a sucker for someone who wears something expensive and looks insane enough on the body to be considered couture fashion. Okay. Um, and dear Lord in heaven, Brittany's coming out the gate, honey. Brittany comes over and sits down and says, "Oh, I love your costume," to Bronwyn, and I just basically did an effing G. Yep. Like, oh my God. Oh, Brittany, you really okay? Okay, girl. I'm gonna do the sign of the cross and say some prayers for you. But Bronwyn's like, "My costume? That's fighting words to Mary and I." And Mary's like, "That's fashion." Brittany asks why are they fighting words? Well, Mary's like, "'Cause we don't wear costumes, we wear fashion." I'm so sorry, but yeah, I know we have been hearing Mary turns very monstrous at some point in the season, allegedly by saying certain words and things about someone else's child, but we don't know that we haven't had confirmation because we haven't seen it. So for now, I'm going to enjoy the hilarity that is Mary M. Cosby. Okay. And Mary says in her confessional, "Who is this?" She's the one that looked like she had on a costume. It looked like she had on a German Shepherd coat. Like she took about 17 German Shepherds to the groomer and dyed it burgundy. And then it cuts immediately to Brittany in the moment being like, "I love fashion." See, there's the difference is Bronwyn and Mary say fashion with the U, like fashion. And poor Brittany, she says fashion as in the Fashionway. And so there's the difference. Fashion, honey. Well, Bronwyn tells them that this coat is one of three made by Saint Laurent, and one is owned by Rihanna, another is in a museum, and she has the third. It's $15,000. Did you know? 15K, $15,000. I'm sorry, $15,000. My shoulders look gigantic. Bronwyn ends up, oh, go backtrack. Caitlin, please. I got so excited about this premiere. I'm telling you, when I realized it was like such a wonderful surprise for me to know that was yesterday. Okay. Mary tells them she has a whole office upstairs that's just full of clothes in her home. And Bronwyn's trying to be like, "Oh my God, yeah, that's so chic. It's like an archive. It's an archive." And Mary explains that growing up, she had 5 siblings and they never had enough. And oh my God, Brittany. When it's like you're getting secondhand, eek, I'm nervous for you. And also, like, this is amazing, but also secondhand cringe and secondhand embarrassment and secondhand, oh my God, you're going to get eaten alive here. Uh, Maybe. I don't know. We're gonna have to see. But Brittany goes, Brittany goes, "So you became like a hoarder." Because Mary then was actually a lot nicer than I would have ever expected, and she still wasn't nice, you know what I mean? But Mary goes, "Not a hoarder, babe, that's a little much." Hmm, I think is Angie K rubbing off on Mary to at least be like, "Hmm," normally Mary would have really read her one, but okay. And Bronwyn's like, "Brittany and these words at the hoarder word." She's like, "We need to get her a thesaurus." Brittany, God bless, she tries her best to damage control, but she uses very strong words, and I think this is gonna be an issue for her. Trigger words. She uses trigger words. But Brittany tells him, "No, I just mean the scarcity. I grew up poor." God. And Mary then tells her, "I didn't grow up poor." "Well, but you were just a minute ago, Mary, explaining that your tendency to hang on to things is part of the way you grew up with 5 siblings and that you didn't have a lot. So I don't know if it's the word poor that triggered you, but I mean, you could have been a little more empathetic as a former pastor. I don't think she's a pastor anymore. But okay. And Brittany says she also had 5 siblings growing up and tells them, "I found myself hiding rolls in my purse to take home." And Mary is just genuinely not about it at all. And she says, literally, "That's not okay." And she gets up and leaves. And Brittany just looks at Bronwyn and she's like, "I totally offended her." Shit. Then we find out poor Meredith. Her breast tissue just keeps growing and growing. So she's had like her 4th breast reduction. And in this flashback, Meredith is telling Heather that she's pissed about Whitney launching a jewelry line and then a bath product line. But we got to be fair, Whitney takes a hardcore hammering in this episode, y'all. So Whitney did have that skincare line long before she was even on the show. The skincare line was in Beauty Lab and Laser, and we will find out more that she had her skincare line in Meredith's jewelry store as well, which, okay. Oh my God. And then I just found this hysterical. Lisa, when she's asked about Jack's mission, she says that Jack's been DMing us via Facebook and finding Michelin star restaurants in Colombia and all the best coffee shops there. Mormons aren't supposed to have coffee. He's on a mission trip. Okay, I'm sorry. It was just Lisa can't help herself. Okay, so before we get into the bath bumps of it all, I want to say hi to a few friends who are joining here on YouTube. Oh, hey, Annie. Okay. I'm going to do my best here. You didn't catch it last night. I'm going to do my best in this recap. I promise. Pressure is on, darling. Heavy is the head. Thank you for joining, Miriam. And hello, multidisciplinary studies. Okay. I tried. Clearly, I have not studied multidisciplinary studies if I can't even say the word. God damn. Oh, well. Okay. So Meredith goes up to Whitney. I'm sorry, y'all. It's going to take me a lot to get through this conversation because it was hysterical to me. She sees Whitney and she goes, "So I have to ask, like, what is up with the bath bombs?" And Whitney just looks at her like she is full deer in headlights throughout this entire conversation. "My bath bumps? Bombs. My bath bombs?" It's so strange to me because in New York, I'm launching a bath collection. You launched a jewelry line last year. You launched bath after I say I was doing it. What is your problem with me? You guys, this is why this show is so good. We are fighting over bath bombs and jewelry lines and bathtubs. Y'all, come on. It's gold. It's gold. Okay? It's gold. Whitney tells her she doesn't have a problem with her and that she thinks Meredith is just like reading too much into it. And then, she does point out in confessional that this is very deja vu of the very first party last year when Meredith was pissed at Whitney because she said that she felt like Meredith's bathtub time with her husband Seth like dirty. That's like a dirty bath. I don't want to take a bath with another person. I mean, I don't really blame you, Whitney. I'm not the biggest fan of it either. It's, whatever. And so Meredith tells Whitney that the message she's getting from her is that she doesn't want to be her friend based on Whitney's reactions and history with each other. Now, Whitney is, I'm not going to lie, getting the same look on her face that a lot of people would, which is literally like, what the fuck do bath bump bombs have to do with being friends with you? Bump bombs. Okay, that was really hard to say it all together. Never mind. But if Whitney hadn't said that she felt like it was weird and dirty for Meredith and Seth to bathe together, maybe it wouldn't be so odd. I don't know. Listen, this show is one of the more nuanced franchises that truly only those of us who have been watching and like writing for it since day one are going to understand. This franchise, it's like family. Okay. Only family gets the family dynamics. Does that make sense? So Meredith tells Whitney that if she were truly her friend and truly loved her, she would have picked up the phone to tell her she was selling bath bombs. Listen, Meredith, they sell them at Walgreens and on Amazon as well. I don't know. Did you have beef with them now too? I'm just curious. I love you so much, Meredith. This was hysterical to me though. Whitney reminds Meredith that she's always sold bath bombs because it's actually how she supposedly launched her business, Iris and Beau, and that Meredith put her skincare line in her own store. But Meredith says she put Iris and Beau in her store and there were no bath bombs. And Whitney's like, "Yes, there were." "No, there weren't." "Yes, I did." "They weren't presented to me because I didn't see bath bombs in a jewelry store." "But you saw skincare in a jewelry store." Okay, All right. So Mary, again, Mary, our confessional queen right now. She she's so bizarre. Mary is truly an enigma of a human being at this point. I don't know how else to put it. She says in her confessional, "Why are you guys fighting over a bath bomb? And why are you fighting over tubs? Like, I don't trust baths. I don't sit in bathtubs. Like, I don't want the yeast infection." Ma'am, you're okay. Never mind. I'm not going to explain female anatomy. All right. Whitney says to Meredith that she could argue that she doesn't know if Meredith is her friend because she never talks to her. And Meredith brings up how she was held accountable last year for what Reality Von Tease, Monica and whoever else was doing it with her, was doing, and that Whitney was basically a part of spearheading this. And Angie, then we find out, feels like Meredith should apologize for the things she was saying about Angie's husband and her business and the Greek mafia stuff last year. But I felt like Whitney did a really great pivot here. She says she only feels bad that she didn't call Meredith to get her address so that she could ship her the bath bombs because she was like, I should have been like, you will love them. You know what? If she had stopped there and hadn't been trying to keep arguing after that, oh, she would have won for me. But she kept trying to go. And that's when Angie K's like, no, I need some screen time. Move, bitch. So Angie tells Meredith that Heather told her that Meredith is wanting an apology from Angie. And Angie does try to have like an iconic housewife moment by pulling out a huge scroll from her bag. But honey, the only scroll we housewives people are going to remember is the weird one Louis had made for Teresa when he was still in the love bombing phase. So I'm so sorry that your trip to Hobby Lobby was a little less fruitful than you hoped. But she whips the scroll out and says, "Number one." And everyone's noticing it and they're calling it out while Meredith says it's a list of made up shit. Angie goes, "Number one, you're suggesting that I am involved in organized crime." "No, I did not." "Yes, you did." "Number two, encouraging someone to sue me and take my home." "I did not say that either." "Running rumors about my family, my business, perpetuating narratives on Twitter." And we get these confessionals of Mary and Heather talking about the scroll bit. And Mary's being Angie's new bestie, trying to have her back in only the way Mary knows how to have someone's back, I would say. But she's telling us how Angie had to actually cut the papers, glue them, find a string, do all these things, go to Michael's. I don't know. And then Mary goes, she's a hard worker and she works hard and she has a lot of time, probably too much time. Sorry, guys. This episode was so good. It was so good. Oh, okay. I'm gonna have tears come out of my eyes. Um, the reminder of Monica saying that Meredith told her that she could sue Angie and take her house because of when, Monica fell down the stairs, at the Easter thing, the Greek Easter thing. And Meredith dismisses the conversation saying, "I'm finished." She's done. So she's trying to get a new form of "I'm disengaging." And Angie legit, like, "Honey, you're not getting an apology." And she genuinely thought she was going to bring up Meredith's sense of humor on this. And it wasn't the way to do it, babes. Wasn't. Now, Lisa starts to do a speech about how she's really leaning on her girlfriends right now because Jack is gone and John is traveling so much. She's like, "I love you all." And then she goes, "But I don't love podcasts. We got to work some things out," to Whitney. And so they finally all go sit for dinner, and Mary's so freaking pissed. She's stuck next to Brittany and tries to make Angie switch her, but Angie's not switching for a worse camera angle. Sorry. No, babes. And Mary says in confessional, "How am I sitting next to her? I don't want her sticking bread in my purse. I can't even relax. She had to do it recently because when you're little, you don't even have a purse." Okay, so Mary's kind of being an asshole at this point, right? Because Brittany was trying to show something vulnerable, saying, "Well, no, I grew up in scarcity and I understand, like, I had food insecurity," is what she's trying to tell Mary. And Mary's not being very empathetic. But Mary did have a point that clearly that stuffing rolls in your purse, maybe it was when, I don't know, maybe it was when Brittany was a teenager, though. I don't know. And we did find out that Bronwyn's stepson is only 6 months older than her, older. So Bronwyn's 38, and at the time of filming, and her husband's like 65. Okay, huge age gap. We got it. We're good. Okay. So Heather looks over at Angie and she's like, Angie, put the scroll away. And she tells her that really, Angie, that wasn't the best foot to start out on. But Angie's reminding Heather that she told her that Meredith wanted an apology. And well, Angie's like, but I want one too. And Meredith tells Angie, I've already apologized to you multiple times. I'm not engaging with you. And Angie's like, go ahead and ignore me. It's easier to do that. And she's saying that Meredith turns away because she's guilty. Well, Heather's like, come on, you guys have already resolved this. But Angie says they never resolved anything. And Meredith allegedly telling Monica to take Angie's house, which I think that was like a bit of a stretch. I'm sure Meredith was like, well, I mean, if you really were hurt that badly, you could sue her if it's her house. That's about the extent of what I'm sure came out, but okay. Speaking of which, did y'all know Monica is going to be, like, narrating the new season of House of Villains? Okay. We're gonna leave it at that there. Okay. Anyway, Meredith denies all of this again, and she tells Angie, "We are so finished. We are finished. Just leave me alone. You leave me alone. You live your life and I'll live mine and be peaceful and happy. Yes, live it in your rental." Bronwyn tries to get them to like draw this line and move on. And again, another hysterical moment from Mary actually being like, these ladies are eating steak. I'm going to feel this in my arteries in 9 years from now. Yet she was also the one who had to have her McDonald's fish fillet sandwich last year. I'm sorry. Come on. So when Lisa gives like her speech and cheers with everyone and tries to keep it cute and clean, this is when Whitney brings up that Lisa mentioned the podcast in her cheers and speech outside, which, hey, it was coming. Lisa says that Whitney's podcast, or I mean, it was the Vile Files podcast, but whatever, was not really about Whitney, but about Lisa. And Whitney tells her, oh my God, Whitney tells her, well, I think you're self-absorbed and that's why you heard it was about yourself. Lisa tells her that people who love themselves take care of themselves and that you think with your healing journey, you'd know that by now. Lisa says that if Whitney is going to lie about her, that she's going to tell the truth about herself. And that, guys, that's only fair. That's the way it goes. So Lisa's telling Whitney that she went on a podcast and bashed her. And Whitney's saying, she's not a liar. I'm not a liar. And that it's not a lie when she's speaking on her experience with Lisa. Now, Whitney goes into confessional and says that Lisa is giving narcissist behavior, being angry that someone disagrees with her. And her example, okay, sorry. And her example of how she feels Lisa is so wrong on this is as if Whitney got mad at Lisa because Whitney said, saying Diet Coke isn't the best. Diet Pepsi is the best. You fucking liar. Okay. Whitney tells Lisa that if she doesn't kiss every part of Lisa's asshole, she gets mad at her. And that is when Lisa says, and says that Lisa has been bringing this all up all this week. And this is what gets Lisa's ears perked up, honey. Lisa asks, what did you hear that I said this week? Whitney tries to deflect and asks her to tell her what she lied about. And Lisa is too smart for this because she points at Angie and says, it had to be you. And Angie looks caught AF. She looks so caught. Oh my God. And then she looks over at Heather and says, or it had to have been you. Again, getting so many of these flashbacks the way we do in Orange County. So the flashback shows Angie going to Whitney's new house, and Angie is, well, telling Whitney about the walk she went on with Heather and Lisa, and that Lisa talked about the podcast and how she was pissed about it. But Whitney says to Lisa, after Lisa reiterates it had to be Heather or Angie, that she's not going to answer anything about this at all. And she's not speaking until you do, so we'll be at a standoff. Heather tells Lisa she didn't tell Whitney. So, excuse me, taking a quick sip of water here. It's so dry in Colorado, y'all. Okay, we're back. Oh, see, now I'm losing. Okay. I'm catching back up. I'm catching back up. Excuse me. Lost my place. Okay. So, thanks for bearing with me. Uh, Heather tells Lisa that she didn't tell Whitney. Lisa asks Angie, and Angie tells her, yes, a part of it. Lisa tells Angie that she feels isolated because she has no one to talk to in confidence because Angie went and told Whitney what all Lisa had said. Lisa is triggered as hell. Okay. She is raging a bit, very angry, yelling at Angie. And this dinner is going to devolve into a massive screaming match that is kind of like almost impossible to take notes on. So bear with me, but I did do it. Okay. Don't worry. Whitney's telling Lisa that she's isolating herself. Really, what this comes down to is that Lisa is just feeling like she can't actually trust Angie K. And hey, right or wrong, that's how she's feeling. Even though, ironically, that's what Whitney's biggest hang up is, you could say, that her feelings are being invalidated. Okay. And now, Angie's trying to explain herself, and Lisa is fucking fired up. Okay. She stands up, asking Angie if, do you want to be involved in this? And Angie's like, no, not really. No, I don't. And that's when Lisa's like, then stop talking. Zip it. Angie isn't doing herself any favors because, oh my gosh, she says, she told Whitney because Lisa had vented to her, and Lisa tells her that Angie is isolating her because Whitney lied about her, and she says, "Angie, you know it." And Lisa also says she's always had Angie's back, and it's the moment for Angie to have hers. Now, I do feel like Lisa would have Angie's back a lot, and I think last year she got really I'm trying to remember, like literally, y'all. I've had to dump everything out of my brain a little bit and then come back, but you know, there was more than one time that Lisa did get upset with Angie, but she had Angie's back last year by telling her what she heard Meredith was saying, that she thought Angie was in the Greek mafia. Still the most ridiculous thing ever, but okay. Now, Lisa says in her confessional that she feels like Angie is being a more loyal friend to Whitney than to her. At the moment, I think what Angie was doing is she notices that a pile-on is coming for Whitney. And to me, it's hard not to stand up for the underdog when this is happening. It's really hard. But at the table, Angie says, I know Lisa doesn't want to be wrong. And oh my God, that was the wrong thing to say. Angie, cats and nervous. Oh, sweetheart. Lisa goes off, telling Whitney to not lie about her and that Whitney has lied about her and her, Heather and Meredith. And then she loses it and gives us a full-blown housewife moment, throwing her drink on the floor, saying, and you fucking said I fucking slept with somebody I didn't fucking sleep with. All right, remember the Bobos for Jazz tickets thing all over again. The problem is I think Lisa and Whitney never resolved this issue. And now this is why it's coming back up. Okay. Whitney is defending herself, saying, all I said was that you were the villain and you're acting like the villain. So Lisa goes, ooh, this was a little more iconic, honey. Oh, I'll be your villain. Game on, bitch. You want me to be your villain? I'll be your villain. Oh, okay, Lisa. And then Whitney tells Lisa, I am not a liar. Don't come from after my character. Lisa, I have never lied. And Heather starts cackling. She's laughing so hard at Whitney saying this because she's like doing that whole, oh my God, the irony. You would actually say that, Whitney. And Heather's telling us in confessional, I love Whitney, but I do see her do this all the time, that she spins the truth. Whew. At the table, it's going to become a huge pile on to Whitney. And again, I'm going to do my best to take it person by person rather than all in order. Okay. Because I feel like going in order, it's just like this and that and this and that. Does that make sense? Okay. Before I hop into the pile on to Whitney, I see a few more people join the chat. And I just want to say hello. Be real. Sorry, I had to be real. On my healing journey, hi, Be Real. You say Whitney has always been messy and likes to play dumb. She had it coming. She tends to throw in and throw down and then whoop, wasn't me. Wasn't me. It was them. And we're gonna see that happen here in just a minute. Hi, June. Hi, Hallie. Yes, I do agree. Yes, Whitney needs some self-reflection. She starts the problem and then plays the victim. Exactly. That's exactly, yeah, 100%. 100%. And yeah, June, I hear you. Angie comes in a bit strong, trying to be funny. I mean, here's the thing. Angie, I think whenever she did this last season, and remember, we're at the start. She has to, I think she needs a minute to get her footing, and I do understand that. She's not our comedy and improv queen. When she has her moments, she's actually very funny and very relatable. Like, I love her. Not relatable, that's not the word, but she's very enjoyable. That's the word I'm looking for. It's just like sometimes she takes a minute to find her footing. So because that's the way it was last season, I'm kind of giving her a chance and being like, all right, Ange, yeah, you'll get there. You'll get there. Please. I hope. Okay. Our Whitney pile on. Good God. Heather yells that Whitney lied about getting prior approval for her section that Heather wrote about her in Heather's book, Bad Mormon, because she allegedly read the entire excerpt to Whitney. And that's according to Heather. And then, I'm sorry, y'all, but Whitney got caught. She did. Sorry, baby girl. You did. Whitney just goes, that is a different conversation. Remember, I'm going to go person by person rather than back and forth and back and forth. Heather later says that Whitney claimed Heather wrote unauthorized material in her book, and that is a pretty big allegation. And then Heather brings up that Whitney chased her out of a bar yelling, "You exploited my vagina." Now it's Meredith's turn. And Meredith says, "You accused me of lying about my father's memorial." And then this is what we were just talking about here live on YouTube, friends. "No, that wasn't me. I got caught up in their mess." Yeah, you threw the bomb, ran away. It's what she does. And then later on, Meredith brings up that Whitney has accused Mary of running a cult and being a predator or a pornography. Whatever floats your boat. Remember, friends, we're a family here. If you know, you know. And then Meredith also later on brings up, "You've accused everyone in our core group of having affairs." Eventually, after the pile-on ceases a little bit, Heather goes, "You lied, and that makes you," Lisa chiming in, "a liar." Whitney is asking why they're all picking on her, and they really, man, y'all, it was target practice on Whitney. And Meredith tells Whitney that essentially she just keeps doing the same thing and that she just continuously gives excuses for each transgression. Okay, but Meredith, I love you so much. There are so many like bath bomb things and jewelry lines. Like Whitney's jewelry line, God love her, it's not going to be like the Meredith Marks jewelry line. Okay. Rihanna has worn your jewelry. Like, come on. Maybe let's be like, oh, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery because I'm so sorry to say this. Oh my God, I don't want to like be mean, but I feel like Meredith has a very different type of business success. Not that Whitney is not successful at all. Not what I'm saying, but it's different, you know? Okay, I'm going to stop talking about that. So Whitney tells Lisa that she would like to take accountability for whatever it is that she has yet to take accountability for. And she just keeps asking what it is she needs to take accountability for with Lisa. What is your issue? What did I say that was so bad for you? And Heather and Meredith are and she also says that Heather and Meredith are bringing up things from a few years ago. And Lisa tells Whitney, you need to take accountability for the podcast. Well, Whitney's essentially asking for grace from Lisa and says she doesn't know what Lisa's grace looks like because in her other relationships and friendships, grace doesn't look the same as it does from Lisa. And Lisa tells her, well, I feel like in your healing journey, you feel like you're morally superior to all of us in this weird way where you're chastising us and telling us how we should be. And I'm just being May. And if you don't like May and want to be if you like May and want to be my friend, then you'll accept May for being May. I'm not on the same journey as you. We're not on the same journey. Oh my God. And then Whitney goes,
Well, maybe you should be.
oh, oh, okay. Jesus Christ. Bronwyn steps in and oh my God, y'all, I got to be honest. I hate to say that I didn't want to like Bronwyn because something about her was like a little too much, whatever. We love a housewife that pushes the boundaries. And I also love that she is in on the joke about herself. She said she's like, I know, I look like a Tim Burton character and I love it. Like she knows she dresses really over the top, but she said, I don't dress to look cool or sexy. I dress like, what was it? Comical chaos, artful chaos, something like that. Anyway, but Bronwyn steps in and she is ready to play friends. She tells Whitney that Lisa doesn't have to act just like Whitney to be okay. And Whitney says that Lisa is weaponizing her trauma against her. Whitney, okay, see, this was bad. I'm sorry. People are probably going to disagree with me, but no. No, Whitney. Meredith starts jumping in and asking when Whitney has given grace to Lisa. Look at Meredith having baby Gorgeous's back. I kind of love this. I love that pairing.
Be besties again. I love it when you guys are friends.
Okay. Anyway, and Whitney just keeps saying that Lisa is weaponizing her trauma against her. And Lisa's saying, I would never do that. But no, Lisa's bringing up your healing journey that you've been overly vocal about. She's not bringing up the actual trauma you experienced as a young girl because you've made it clear that your healing journey was about one, resolving that, and two, healing as an adult and the way you behave in your relationships, Wit. That's the part that I think Lisa's talking about to you. I don't view it as her weaponizing your trauma. She's very much trying to make herself a victim. Whitney is in this, and I think Whitney, it would have been wise. You know what, guys? All right, I hear you. I'm gonna add this to my list and find a crystal that goes with it in the right sound bowl, and I will work on healing myself on this. I take accountability for everything that you believe I need to. Okay, fine. Sorry, but no, babes, she doesn't do that. She doesn't at all. Now, Whitney says that in text messages, Lisa has been really attacking her trauma, weaponizing her trauma, specifically from a message that said, keep healing, Whit. And now we get the screenshot that Lisa clearly sent Whitney a screenshot that someone else sent Lisa. God, that's really weird to explain. Anyway, clearly Lisa received a screenshot from someone of a message exchange that was between them and Whitney. And so Lisa took a screenshot of that and sent it to Whitney. And basically it just said that Whitney told this other third party that Lisa is really mad at her right now for saying she only thinks about herself at the reunion, that Lisa only thinks about herself, and that Whitney said she's done being in a one-way friendship with Lisa and done working on her friendship with Lisa. So Whitney in this message, exchange, replies, "You are not my storyline. I tried working it out with you. You showed me where to put you. Take care. See you Monday. XOXO." And so Lisa replied to that with keep healing and 2 prayer emojis and a little blue heart. Honestly, was it that bad? Was it that awful? No, I mean, whatever. And that's when at the table, Whitney then goes,
Do you want to meet the Hild, Whitney?
and Lisa's just like, yeah, where is she? I don't see her. And that's when Whitney flips her off
And goes, Fuck you, Lisa Barlow.
Sorry. It's like this mix of Whitney having this baby voice and like,
Do you want to meet the Hild, Whitney?
I'm going to get my shit together. And Lisa took note from Meredith Marks and she says, then you can leave. There's the door. Bye. You can leave my party. Leave. Don't you take that Vita with you. She doesn't get a Vita tequila. So Whitney leaves. And it looks kind of like Angie's leaving with her, but it seems more like she's walking her to the door because Whitney has her other friend that she showed up with going with her. And Whitney turns around telling Lisa that she won't let her call her a liar and that she's using Whitney's trauma against her, and tells Lisa,
This is the healed Whitney. I'm strong. I can stand up for myself. Bye. I'm so strong I can climb a hill and a mountain on my healing journey as long as I have crystals. I have 80 pounds of them in my backpack. That's why I'm so strong.
and so Lisa tells Whitney that she can't use her trauma to treat Lisa and the rest of the women like shit, and says she needs to leave, and looks at the other woman and is like, Angie can leave with Whitney since she's so involved in this. And Heather's like, but Angie's my girl. Y'all, when did Heather and Angie become so tight? I kind of, remember how much Heather and Angie like despised each other and then they painted birdhouses together. I'm telling you, this is like Salt Lake City is like our family. We can make fun of them. We can make fun of them. No one else can, because it's like we do it from this place of love that like someone who I can't explain it. Like if a family member is over or someone else who doesn't watch this stuff says a single word about them, like, oh wow, these people are crazy. I'll be like, I will actually end you right now. But I, in the same breath, will be like, you are out of your freaking mind, you psychopath, yelling at the TV. It's because they're my family. Does that make sense? I sound psychotic. Oh well, we're all in the same boat, right? Before we go, I want to say hi a few more times to people. Yeah, Candy. Whitney was being a little too much. She was getting on the nerves. She was. And yeah, Angie was doing too much. I agree, Candy. But I think once the thing is, Angie, like once she is like kind of thrown in and has to stop and like completely shed everything, all of her scripts she wrote in her head, all of her comebacks, that's when Angie's great, when she just shows up. When she's not writing the script in her head, it's great. Okay. Oh my gosh, thank you, June and Hallie. Some people, they either get really pissed off when I do impersonations. I can't help it. It is the only way I can keep up with my notes. Yes, thank you so much with the impersonation. Yeah, and some people hate it. It is a love-hate relationship, but I tend, especially on like this show, y'all will notice if I start trying to speak in my regular voice, I tend to stutter because I have to break up. I don't know, it's weird. I'm bizarre. What can I say? We all know this. It is not news to any of you besties. Now, besties, if you're watching live on YouTube, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, join the community, and you can check out the Besties by Bravo Facebook community. There's like maybe 3 of you in there who I love you so much. I'm trying to garner that as well. It's just been a really insane week. Okay. An insane life. Okay. Life has been insane, but good. A lot of good. And also, if you could please leave a 5-star review wherever you listen to Besties by Bravo, share it with someone. It means the world. I really enjoy reading the happy reviews, and I try to take constructive criticism when people aren't just being mean, genuinely. So I was going to be trying to do a master list kind of breakdown of the secret lives of Mormon wives and all of the things I found out and just everything I found interesting about them. And I couldn't make this bonus episode happen today. What I may be able to do is maybe tomorrow. We'll see. Again, under promise, over deliver at some point over the next 5 days. How about we say that? What I'm going to attempt to do is just do an audio only bonus episode if that's something you're interested in, because I don't want to do my makeup on YouTube. So, okay. I try to show up like it's, my job, because it is. Anywho, check out the Pop Culture Besties merch shop on Etsy. There are ugly Christmas sweatshirts on there, wrapping paper ornaments. I will be adding more. We're getting there. But besties, I will see you. Gosh, it is Thursday. I will see you Tuesday, whatever date that is. I'll see you on Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard, 10 a.m. Pacific, and hopefully Giorgio will be able to join me. We'll see. he's a busy guy too. We will be doing Orange County, and maybe depending on how this episode goes, maybe we can throw in a little gossip. That would be nice. I've been dying to gossip with y'all. All right, besties. I will see you Tuesday. Bye.